Namaskaram everyone, this is Vishwaksen and welcome to Vaka Talks. We are doing a short series on things to not say to victims of abuse, to people in abusive relationships, and when people share about their abuse. So, this statement basically, or this couple of statements, basically come up specifically when people share about their childhood trauma. These statements are, well, you should grow up and move on. The second statement is, well, you cannot blame everything on your childhood experiences. You should let go of them and you basically need to grow up. So, growing up is basically a collection of all the experiences that we had, and we grow up every day. It's not like we stop growing up after a certain age. At every age, the experiences that we had shape the newer version that we are after that day. So when someone has has gone through childhood trauma, someone who has not received the care, the love, the attention, the nourishment that they needed as a child, that is still lacking as an adult. Yes. So unless that lack and that trauma has been addressed, unless they seek help, that they have come to terms with it, they have accepted that they are not responsible for the lack of care that they did not receive, they it is impossible for them to move on. And as a child, as a kid, we blame ourselves for the lack of love in our lives, because as a child we feel that okay, we are responsible, maybe we are not worthy of the care, of the love that we want. Maybe we are too demanding. Maybe our parents, because for a child, the parent does nothing wrong and people around them do nothing wrong. Whatever whatever problem that we have, whatever the lack of protection that we feel, is because we feel that we don't deserve it. When we go to our primary caregiver and we seek protection, we seek care, we seek love, and we don't receive it, we blame ourselves. We blame ourselves for not being worthy of the care, not being worthy of the protection, not being worthy of the love. And that is an extremely traumatic experience. And as an adult, we carry that pain, we carry that suffering. And unless we go to therapy, unless we seek help, unless we understand that we are not to blame, we are not responsible for our our caregivers irresponsibility, our caregivers lack of nurturing quality, our caregivers lack of respect towards us, our caregivers lack of love towards us, we always keep blaming ourselves, and that is a very debilitating pain that we carry as adults, we go through as adults, and that affects our activities, our responses, how we react to everyday events. And when people say we cannot blame everything on our childhood trauma, it is basically invalidating our needs. It is not respecting our childhood, it is not respecting our own experiences uh, as a child, because they don't understand the scarcity that we went through. They don't understand that, and they diminish our suffering, they diminish our experiences. and they make us feel that our trauma is insignificant, and we cannot let go of it because that's a huge that plays a huge factor on who we are. Because if we cannot if we cannot blame our lack of support, our lack of protection on something, on how we react, what is the reason why we react the way that we react in certain situations? When people uh, when people normalize angry reaction, saying that their parents were angry, that's why the child is angry as an adult, the pain that we suffer as a child, why is it not justification for us feeling that pain as an adult? So our experiences as a child shape the adult who we are, and our experience today shape us who we are tomorrow. That is why when we go to therapy, when we seek therapy, we we are unpacking, we are dealing with our trauma, and we are basically growing through that experience. And people tend to justify the wrong things on childhood, and they don't justify the things that they need to justify on the childhood experiences. An angry person, when they justify it, telling that their parent was angry at them as a child, that's why they are angry, they justify it, they normalize it, and people accept it when people should not. An person who is quick to anger needs to work on it, needs to understand why they get angry, and needs to work on it, and learn how to control their emotions and anger. And society justifies it for some reason. And when people try to tell them that they have gone through a lot of pain as a child, and that is affecting them as an adult, they don't accept it. They don't see that as a valid justification, when the pain and suffering is an actual valid justification. And until it is dealt with, until the trauma is dealt with, and the person learns to accept it and move on and grow from it, that continues to affect it. Even after we have come to terms with it, we still have remnants of the trauma as a child. Every once in a while we do get triggered by the trauma. There will be some triggers, and we to learn to heal ourselves, but the scars remain, and that abuse remains. So when people say that we need to grow up and we cannot blame our everything on our childhood trauma, yes, we are working towards it. We are working towards bettering ourselves. We are learning to deal with our trauma. We are learning towards healing ourselves. It is a process. It is not that after a certain age we are no longer a child, and uh, uh, we end that thing, we close it, and we open a new box now. No, we are not a new person. We as adults are uh, are a version created by all the experiences that we had as a child, as a young adult, as an adult, as who we were yesterday plays a role on who we were today, and the experiences that we had today shapes us into the person we are tomorrow. So our childhood trauma plays a role in how we react and who we are as a person today. So when people try to invalidate that, it is extremely painful, and they have no right to invalidate our suffering and our trauma.